I'm gonna just put these on the counter.
That may help. Probably I'll talk more than anyone
Yeah,
else.
Hassan, his voice reached your
Yeah,
for sure.
my
Okay.
voice is more than enough.
He doesn't even need a mic.
No.
All right, so no more announcements. Any proclamations? No proclamations or recognition. Any additions to the agenda or deletions?
No, sir.
All right, public comment?
No, sir.
Nothing from Bill?
Swear? Nothing? All right, so then we move to the consent agenda. And we have approval of minutes from the January 9th, 2024 regular city council meeting. Approval of invoice register date ending March 5th, 2024. Approval of pre-approved expenditure date ending March 5th, 2024.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No objections?
No.
All right. Okay, so we move to the new business then. And we have the first one, Resolution 2024, 2024-23, approving extension to Dominique Gagliu Construction Corporation alley contract.
Motion?
Second.
Mr. Mayor, we have John to briefly speak about this. Both these resolutions go together. They're companion resolutions. Normally, we would have Tiffany here backing it up, but as we know, she's out of town, and we didn't feel necessary to drag Hennessy here for two quick resolutions that John can basically just explain real quickly.
Yeah, it's the same contractor that we've been using, the last couple of years, all our alleys. He's also gonna be the contractor that puts in the scales, the forms for the scales. So he's agreed to do that when he starts this, the alley this spring, so we're expecting him here within the next month to start.
Trying to get a jump on it. He's agreed to basically honor the same pricing we had from last year with a slight increase, which is pretty reasonable. We're adding that one more alley to the mix, which is the East Joseph Campo Alley from basically CVS to Eveline. And then the companion resolution is for Hennessy to oversee it. And then also to add the scales back onto Hamtramck Drive, which is for weighing trucks, which historically they were there. Pretty cut and dry.
How many alleys we are doing this time?
Well, we still gotta finish out a few from the last season, which we ran out of time. So we have to do the West Conant Alley from Comer to Casimir, which runs basically behind Aladdin and all the
Yes.
restaurants, and it's a really long section there, it's a big one.
Yes.
We also gotta do the West Joseph Campo Alley from Carpenter to Nibel, and then this one, which we've added here, and then we're stopping to reassess, and we're gonna be back with you after that. So, but this one's a really long one too, so of the three coming are really big ones, so.
Yeah, especially the Conant one, the Conant alley is a big one.
Yeah, that's, as you guys know, a very long one, and this one's really long too. It goes all the way from Eveline all the way to CVS, so.
So if we approve this resolution with a slight increase in the price, 5%, in case they don't get their job done on time like they always do, what is the penalties in this case? Because every time we tell people this alley will get done, they start late toward the fall and then they run out of time.
This one's the spring. I mean, as soon as like the weather breaks, these are starting. So this isn't a matter of like he's waiting till winter. I mean, this is like as soon as the weather clears, these are gonna be banged out and we're done. So whatever we add on for the next season, we could run into that, and we certainly can address that, but I mean, we're always gonna be contingent upon the weather. We never know what it's gonna do, what it's not gonna do. We never know what the construction season will bring as who we're competing against, what state projects are out there, where there else are gonna be. So, I mean, it's always kind of a gamble, but I mean, we certainly can add clauses in the contract. We typically don't, but.
They would have done, another alley last fall. I basically stopped them from going any further because of the weather. The other contractors will tell you they'll pour cement all year. After November 15th, it gets really touchy. If you get into a freeze, especially a rain and then a refreeze, you blow the whole surface of the alley off, it's gone. So I hate to spend on such a long alley, spend $500,000-$600,000, and then it just blows apart. And then the cure time is a lot longer than the cooler months because of the moisture. So it means people can't drive on it, for a lot longer period of time. And we're already having a hard time keeping people off the alleys.
Yeah,
As the mayor knows from behind me, they move the guardrails, they drive on them, and
So,
so.
so to avoid that, why do they start late? I mean,
They
they should have
did their
started
final-
in May. They only start like in October or something.
it's not always them, Mayor. I mean, sometimes it's also budget seasons, when things open up, grants hit, I mean, there's any myriad of reasons for things,
I believe
I
their
mean,
approval was Gaglio's approval last year, the final approval, when
So-
they actually did it was October.
sometimes our engineers are hung up on other projects too. I mean, you pick your thing. I mean, we, at any given time, we got so many things going on in the city that, I mean, we're struggling, so.
I understand, but this is the second year in a row where they don't get things done on time. And they made us look in front of the people that we lied to them, because we told people this alley will get done, and we announced it on Facebook, and then it doesn't get done. We have to wait another year, and that's inconvenient for us, I mean, and for the residents, like.
I understand.
We lose trust
I-
of the residents.
I hate to say it, but I mean, construction kind of across the board is always delayed, and it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's roads, whether it's housing, whether it's commercial. I mean, it's riddled with delays. I mean, I don't know any construction project I've ever seen that's ever went off perfectly without a hitch. I mean, it just seems to be the nature of the beast.
We are the first contractor, that I've confirmed. I've known Gaglio for a long time. I used to bid against him for 20 years. So when he says he's gonna be, he guaranteed that he would come to Hamtramck first before any other city. Yeah, I can take his word for that.
We have been pretty, I mean, they've been doing pretty good work. I mean, there's been some delays, but I can say overall, it's come out pretty good. I mean, the work product we've seen has been nice. The alleys come out really nice when they're done. There's been a few snafus here and there, but we're pretty happy with them. I mean,
Go ahead.
I just add there, make them accountable with us.
well, we definitely are holding contractors in the city more accountable, generally speaking. If you remember the last council meeting we had, we brought the other contractor back. We rebid out all the individual fixes, like all the
Utility patch.
the utility patching, because we literally got rid of a contractor because we weren't happy with them. So we just did that.
We got a new one.
Yeah, so, I mean, so we are doing that. We are generally happy with this one. Yeah, there's a little bit of delays, but overall, the product's been pretty good. I can't say it hasn't been. And they're pretty responsive.
Yeah. There's not many contractors out there that can do a project like that, one, tight quarters. Gaglio's got the trucks, and he's got like 7 different cement companies. He operates under about 7 different flags. So there's very few companies that I'm aware of, and like I say, I used to bid against these people all the time, that can handle the alleys that we have, so.
Councilmember Fenton, go ahead.
I don't know if it's you or Hennessy that's overseas after they're doing their work. We don't wanna do the same mistake that we have done on the south end of Joseph Campo, that we had to pay almost $500,000, and we are paying, to get that redone, because there was cement that went inside. So who's overseeing that? After they're doing all this work, is it true, is it Hennessy, because Hennessy was there previously, and we had this mistake?
I think that, what you're speaking of, Councilman, I
Yeah,
think that one
that's-
predated Hennessy.
Yeah.
You're talking about that large
The
water
south
main
end,
repair?
Yes.
Yeah, that one predated Hennessy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there was a different.
It predated
contractor
all of
in the
us.
city then.
I think that actually happened under the emergency manager.
Okay, but right now, who oversees the work every time?
Hennessy, I actually go out there, and our guys, now I've got, Brian, our 2 supervisors in DPW, I'm having them involved more in the project, sitting in on the meetings. Also driving by just to let me know what they're seeing. If they see something they don't like, they report it to me right away. So we're able to stop things a lot faster now.
Yeah, that's actually another change we did too. We actually involved them much more, and historically they haven't been. So we're trying to, we tell all our field crew, even our lowest laborers to, you're above our contractors. If you see something you don't like that one of our contractors are doing, tell them and tell us, so and that goes for any of our city employees. I don't care if it's an officer or a janitor or whatever. If you see a contractor doing something you don't like, you tell us, because, everyone has a responsibility to let us know.
All right, because we don't wanna, get that same mistake again, and then that will cost the city, hundreds of thousands of dollars like we have just done. So, it's a small little mistake, but it costs the city a lot of money.
Yeah, we're fortunate in the DPW, that two guys have been here a long time, and their historical knowledge is priceless, so I rely on them a lot. That's why I brought them in on some projects that I know that when we're not changing the water main, when we're doing the road, I'm like, for example, the Fleming, and we're doing that road, there's gate valves that I found out that don't work, and we're getting ready to put a new road on it. So I said, oh, let's get them fixed now, because I don't want to dig up our new road to fix them. So that's why I'm bringing them involved in a lot more meetings, so they know they're exercising these valves, they know which ones are leaking, they know which ones are broke, they know which ones are antiques and gotta go, so now we're making a list of all the streets coming forward and bringing them involved in the beginning, and we're getting these things fixed before we put the roads in. So that's just one small example of what I'm trying to do with the department.
Councilman Hassan, go ahead.
Okay, supervision, one of the colleagues mentioned that supervision up to John. Conductor they will do something, or they wanna hide something, it's up to as a city deputy director and supervisor, we have to catch their mistake. No matter what, who conduct the job, they will do something. But it's our responsibility, our John and John team has to keep on close eyes to find out what's going on. And the emergency manager our manager is right. She has done a lot of damage to the Hamtramck city. She has opportunity to do it, a good thing. She did not, and put us in hold, and she left. And she's the one hire some contractor, somebody, and that time she has the power. Okay, just want to let you know.
All right. So I guess we can vote now.
Councilman Al-Samiri,
Yes.
Councilman Sedman,
Yes.
Councilman Rafai,
Yes.
Councilman Musa,
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman Hassan.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, resolution 2024-23 approved.
Thank you. Next one, resolution 2024-24, awarding the 2024 alley reconstruction design and construction services to Hennessy Engineers.
Motion.
Second.
All right.
Mr. Chair.
Councilman Hassan, go ahead.
So, did this went out to bid or we just pick?
So this got awarded to Hennessy, but we have a standing contract with Hennessy for the services. We don't, as a rule, go rebid Hennessy each time. So they give us the price for it, and based upon our pricing that's already established with them, we bring it to you for approval.
No, any other parties interested or did not contact with us?
If we did, we would have to rebid out our whole engineer
I know,
firm.
whole section.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the problem with that too is Hennessy, since they've been here a while, they have a lot of historical data on the city. So when they have to do the elevations or the topos, a lot of times it's already in their GIS system. So their pricing is based on how long they think it's gonna take them to do it, and they already have a lot of information. We go to somebody new, they gotta start from zero. They may come in with a lower rate, but they might have more hours to do it, and we end up paying more. So from what I can see with them, with Hennessy, especially going GIS, if we eventually get into a GIS system, they can download everything that they have right into our city system, which is gonna put us a lot further ahead. We won't be paying somebody to go out there and pinpoint all these things.
yeah. That, once the GIS finally gets up and running, we're branching off here a little bit, we're gonna be a lot better for it, because all the historical data will be in that system, which will all be proprietary. We'll have it all. I mean, we get, whatever we wanna do, we'll be right there for the taking.
So the reason I had the question, because of some smart residents, they don't wanna come here and talk about that. They call me to talk, so I just wanna let them know. So there is the reason, if we hire the new contractor, new company, it could be mistake like other one, what happened, and we have to pay more price than what we're doing. Hennessy already in the system, they have lots of clue, like John said, there is the lots of money maybe we have to pay extra because of have to do a study and all things, and Hennessy already been a study done, and that's why. So the residents who call me, you guys very clear now, we did not handpick, we just taking from experience and the company who is more reasonable, more experienced, and Michigan one.
There's
There is a one.
the institutional knowledge and the stability, you can't really put a price on.
Okay, go ahead and vote.
Councilman Hassan,
Oh, you put me in a spot, yes.
Councilman Rafai,
Yes.
Councilman Musa,
Yes.
Councilman Al Samiri,
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman Sedman,
Yes.
and Mr. Mayor, resolution 2024-24 approved.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, John. And now we move to the report. I will start with my report. Not much to say. It has been a long time since we had a meeting here on January 9th, I think, right? January what?
First,
No,
first of
February.
February.
February, yeah.
Why do we have here the minutes from January 9th? Was that a mistake?
My mistake.
So that's why I was surprised. Approval of minutes from the January 9th,
Okay,
2020.
that's just the subject line, I'll fix that.
So a typo,
Yeah,
okay.
February 13th.
All right, so since then we had many events in between. Probably the most important one was the celebration we had to welcome our new police chief, Soho Hall. And I want to take this moment to thank everyone who attended that event and thank Dr. Sahoba for taking the initiative to organize that event. It's apparently they are from the same area or some kind of relationship between them. So he did it just because he's proud of him. Also we had many protests that we attended since that time. Many events, charity events that I attended since that time. Some of them are for Yemen, some of them are for Palestine and other places. So it has been busy time since then. Other than that, I want to take this opportunity to also announce that we're going to have a charity game, basketball game next Friday between Hamtramck and Dearborn, and it's going to be
This Friday?
yeah
This Friday.
March 8th. It's going to be in Hanley
No,
School. What is it?
Hamtramck Community Center.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, Hamtramck Community Center. So there's so many people who will attend, many elected officials, celebrities, and other people. So make sure you attend. Ticket I think is $10 for adults, $5 for kids. Mayor Hamoud already, threatened that he will win this game, and made some harsh comments. He said he will make Hamtramck residents cry, not just the mayor cry. And I told them that last year they won. We won the year before, so this is in our hometown. We make sure that we won this game. But the biggest success will be the, how many people will come to support this good cause. That's actually a win for all. Just a few minutes ago, Max mentioned that whenever we find something that we are not happy about, we should talk to him. We actually, I received so many complaints about the building department recently, and I think some of those cases passed by you recently, and there were some huge mistakes by them that was going to be, that was going to cause the residents and businessmen to pay as much as they are supposed to pay, 3 times as much or more. So that actually it's not only a single case. I have heard many cases similar to this where we cannot interpret this kind of behavior. I mean, I know there's some personal gain, secondary gain from this kind of behavior. Yes, they take percentage from that money, but it's not accepted that they abuse the people, or especially businessmen in Hamtramck. It basically means, we don't want you in this city. So I'm not happy with that kind of, yes, you can, follow the rules, but don't exaggerate in punishing people or asking for the impossible. There's an engineer who told me I've been working I worked in 74 different cities. Nothing is like Hamtramck. The requirements are impossible, almost. So our vision is to attract businesses to the city. This behavior means only one thing. He wants to kick people out. That's the only impression that I hear. Do you guys want us to leave the city? So that's not accepted. Our people, you know, the people of Hamtramck are willing to pay, but not unreasonable, you know, things. They complain to me that there is no way to pay their tax refund here in Hamtramck, and it's the only city where they can't pay here or online. They have to mail it to Eaton Rapids or something. And I just did my tax with my person who prepared my tax, and he's like, your city is the only city where people cannot pay online. And when they go to the office, they tell them, go mail it somewhere. People wants to pay money, and you tell them, I don't want your money, go send it somewhere else. So we have to find a solution for that too. Make it easy for people to pay money. We want that money. It's unreasonable. I was looking at the audit report, and it went down from last year, 1.5 million, the tax. Why? Last year it was over 5 million, 5.5 million. This time went to 4 million point something. It doesn't mean that people left the city. It just means that we are not as efficient as we were last year. And by the way, we're still positive, you know, over 4 million. So I don't expect any problems with the budget this year. But this is one thing that we want to make sure that the building department, Mekana, should be reasonable when they do their job. Otherwise, I mean, I think it's reasonable that we just move to replace them with in-house employees and save that 75% that we pay to them. It's unreasonable. You know, we need to work toward that. And the other thing also, you know, code enforcement. I noticed that they give some people ticket before warning. We passed a resolution to give warning for minor violations. So if you don't find the address in the back of the alley of the house, why giving a ticket right before, you know, before warning? That's not acceptable. And things like this just get the people angry at us while we try to serve the people and make them happy to live in Hamtramck. We don't want them to leave Hamtramck. We're trying to attract more people to live here, more businesses, more people to invest in Hamtramck. So I remember during our campaign that we promised people we will make the process of obtaining license easier. Now it's harder than ever, which I don't accept. If that's the case, we have to do something about whoever is implementing these policies. I mean, that's something that I'm not happy with because it doesn't only come to you, Mr. City Manager. It comes to us too. Some people call us in the middle of the night, which upset us, cause us more stress and consume so much of our time. So if things are not fixed, we have to take action against those who don't like to help the residents, you know. I think our residents are some of the most compliant people in the United States. One person said, people in Hamtramck are the only people who come to pay their payments in full. There's no payment plans here. Rarely you find it. People will come, how much is my tax? Okay, I'll pay the whole thing. Other cities, they make payment plans. So we want to make things easier for them. They're here to come to pay, and they can't pay their you know, responsibilities here to the city. So we want to make it easy for them to pay their tax refund. There's a way to establish, you know, some app online for them to do that. That's if we need some extra employees or staff in the department, the tax department, that's also something that we need to do. But that's for the city manager to figure out, and I hope we can, you know, work to serve our residents, you know, in the best way we could. Third thing that I noticed, I was going over the invoices. Some of them are, you know, huge amounts. I don't know if these are reviewed by the city manager or whoever is responsible. We talked about the parking meters company. We paid $30,000 and $35,000 in the past 2 months. We asked for a report how much we received from this parking company. We never got that report. It means if we pay last month $35,000, that we received for $35,000 too. because it's 50-50. I don't see it anywhere in the invoices for the past several months. That and also whatever invoices we get from companies or anything, I mean, we need to review it. We can't just pay whatever we ask for, you know? The mayor of Dearborn, one time he negotiated with the garbage company and decreased the contract 300,000 because they did not fulfill their, you know, responsibilities. We need to do that too with our contractors. We can't just pay them whatever they ask for us because some of them are unreasonable prices. That's all for me for my report now, and I will turn it to Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Can I address a couple of those real quick?
Yeah, go on.
So, specifically into the building department complaint, I looked into that, and we still are working with that company in particular, and that just is not the case, Mr. Mayor. That company in particular literally just got us their plans recently. We just met with them today, and we are still waiting for the plans that they're supposed to bring to us tomorrow so that we can actually review them. As of just recently, we still didn't even have the accurate information for them. We've been working with them for weeks. I personally told them I gave them my card, the building official's card, and our clerk's card, and told them over 2 weeks ago to email me specifically with your issues and complaints, and it took over a week for that to happen. I'm happy to say that we are now finally getting them where they need to be, but that's not on our end on that. I literally have an open door policy that anybody can stop in my office anytime, and pretty much I respond to emails 7 days a week, constantly. Yourself and council get a hold of me all the time to respond to things, and I go out of my way to help our businesses anytime they ask for help, and that is just not the case on this one. I try to make it as easy as I possibly can for our businesses. Sometimes we have businesses that just are not familiar with this stuff. All the time we have people trying to develop things that are just not good at it. Yeah, they have different experiences in other cities, but we are a different city. And in relation to the costs, the one thing we do when we do our permit, we upfront our costs. That's what came up today, which kind of shocked them. We don't a la carte our things, which other cities do, so we had to explain that to them too. So they didn't really understand that, but we are on track with them. As far as the income tax, we are having staffing issues. It's only a department of 2. Unfortunately, we have a hurt employee that's been out for several weeks, and the one employee that's in there right now is struggling to keep up. We've had a policy for a very long time that our income tax has to be mailed out. You know, it's just been something we've done. We have a company that actually processes those. It helps us to be more efficient. We've been a little bit more diligent with people recently because we've been so short-staffed, but my hope is that once our staffing gets back to normal, we can go back to our normal policy. But for right now, as of today, we didn't have anyone in there because, frankly, and I don't want to get into our personnel issues, but we just didn't have anyone at that office at all. So I'm literally putting up a posting to get a floating employee, hopefully to augment that department as well. So I'm hoping within the next month or so to do that, and maybe our other employee comes back, and then that goes back to somewhat semi-normal, but it's really just a staffing issue. As you know, we don't only have so much staffing in City Hall as it is, so when staff goes down and we lose employees, it gets more difficult. So that's why we've been a little bit more diligent on telling people that, you know, mail them in, so that we can actually process things. As far as any other issues with the city, please send people to us. If someone, for some strange reason, gets a ticket before a warning, send them to me. I'm happy to look into it. More often than not, that's not the case. I'm not going to say I haven't come across that, because occasionally I do find it, but more often than not, I find that people have got warnings, but they don't give that information to you guys. They come to you guys and say, I never got a warning. Most of the time they have. And when we look into it, that's usually the case. But even with that, we're pretty lenient on it. We try to help people. Again, you know, our doors are wide open to talk to people. I make myself so accessible to just about anyone in the city. And, you know, I will continue to do that. And please bring these to me. We'll sort through them on a case-by-case situation. As far as the parking report goes, I apologize. Our controller's been on vacation for a while. He was preparing to go on vacation. He'll be back soon. It's been a little busy there, a little hectic. We did lose 2 key employees in that department recently too, which was a heck of a turnover for another small department. But I made a note. I'm going to put it on his list when we get back, and we'll get that to you. So, but I'm here to address anything.
Go ahead,
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Manager. I was out of county last 3 weeks. Sorry, I missed the meeting and I missed a couple of events. But I went to for my family family emergency. Hopefully everything went through good. And I'm agree with the mayor, a couple of the issues regarding his explaining. I don't want to touch each and everything, but one thing, our code enforcement officer, 8 o'clock at evening, he write the ticket. Do you have any law after 8 o'clock? He do that after 4:30, he do those things? I have a couple of complaints come up. Ticket time 8 o'clock in the evening, 7:30 in the evening, Saturday and Sunday too.
There's no set time. I mean, enforcement is enforcement. I mean, there's no rule that says, after 4 o'clock in the afternoon that, feel free to break city code or ordinance in the city. I mean, we have part-time code enforcement, we have full-time code enforcement, we have full-time officers, we have part-time officers in the police department and parking, and we try to spread them out across the city to be most efficient. So on occasion, we have people working in evening hours to spread it out, and we have people here on weekends occasionally too. Now, granted, that hasn't always been the case. We have had evening, parking enforcement in the past. Some people have thought that was new, but it isn't. It's been a while, but it's not entirely new. I can't remember specifically if we've had code on the weekends in the past, but we probably have. The city's had a long history of having code enforcement, but I mean, there's no rule or law that says we can't. I mean, if someone's not doing what they're supposed to during that time, why not? I mean, if it's efficient for the city to run it that way, frankly, we only have so many vehicles right now, and I'd rather have someone here on the weekend addressing, resident complaints anyway. I mean, if a resident's calling in and leaving messages on our machines or emailing us on the weekend, I'd rather have someone on the spot to address those for a resident on the weekend. So, it's not like it's costing us any extra money to have one of our part-timers on that shift as opposed to not.
So we are allowed to put any times they can write the ticket.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, City Council, anyone?
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Councilman.
First of all, I want to thank El Bustan Restaurant for actually bringing lunch here today.
Yeah,
That's one of the owners here. Much appreciated.
okay.
Many of you took some home. That's how much food he brought.
Group thank you, group effort, thank you so much, it was well appreciated.
To recap what the mayor has said, it has been issues, and I've been getting complaints, and I have been addressing this to you. But regarding the code enforcement specific, it's, I have seen that a lot of them, we're not getting no warrants previously. We don't have to go through the whole process, come to you, and then it has to go through our city attorney and for it to get dismissed through courts. I think, and Tony's not here, but our building department is here, could address this to our code enforcement to make sure to do things right. Look at the system. I worked in that department, so I know how it works. If they don't go and look at the history and find out, they're not gonna find that. So they need to do their job and search on there and find out if this person had a warrant, a warrant previously or not. And then also for simple stuff like a bottle of oil that was set on the backyard or in the alley, I think that shouldn't have been written a ticket for. I think that should be, either send a letter to that house, to that resident, say, pick up that little bottle on the floor, instead of running a ticket, and then the guy didn't get that ticket, and then he gets late fees and penalties for a little bottle of oil. It just doesn't make sense. I'm with the code department. I encourage them. They're doing their job, but there's things that has to be done right. We don't have to go through the whole process. Them calling us again, going through. It's a whole command that we have to go through. So if they're doing their work right, we don't have to go through that process. We're wasting time, we're wasting money, and we're wasting our time by getting these residents give us calls day and night. You want to address that, or?
Yeah, if you don't mind. Hey, Councilman, the only recent occurrence that I can recall of a warning was actually, you had brought it to me, and it was during the snow season. Well, it still is snow season technically, but there were some tickets that went out for unshoveled snow, and the warnings hadn't went out. But I had addressed that on the spot, and the only reason that that had happened is because our former code enforcement supervisor had had a policy with them guys that write tickets for that immediately, and I corrected that with them. I don't know of any other recent occurrences where they didn't get a warning first, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but most, if not all the ones I can remember of recent past that were brought to me, that people have said, oh, I didn't get a warning. When I looked them up, they all got warnings.
Well, two, they haven't got warning, because before I come to you, I go do my homework, and I go to the building department, get everything before I come to your office.
Well, if you
So I can address, because I don't want to look funny, stupid in front of you that I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So I do my homework and get all that paperwork, make sure they don't give no warning, and then I come and address to you.
Well, Councilman, if you find one where that is indeed the case that I'm unaware of, tell me, because like I'm telling you right now, I don't
I
know
have
of any
brought to you.
recent occurrences that,
I have brought to you some.
I don't recall one recently of that being the case. But
I still got copies.
let's talk after this and we'll figure it out.
All right, and then, recapping again about businesses, same person that called me, and it will go on and on to every city councilman. We're trying to make things easy for our businessmen, and also for our residents who are trying to build these new houses. I think our city needs to address these and make it simple and easy for these businessmen that's trying to open. I get it that maybe they're missing, maybe they're not emailing you, or maybe they're missing some paperwork, but I think it needs to be addressed fast. And that's what the reason that when we ran, and our message was make it easy and simple. And about the income tax, I think it needs to go back again to shouldn't be no appointments. Myself, I was trying to come and check on my income, and then it's closed. There's appointments now. I think there should be regular hours. Same thing that the clerk and every department is open. They need to be open at the same time. If we're missing employees, there's one in the assessor building. Move over to the income tax. Instead of her just sitting there. Assessor, I think it's one-man department. I think we're able to have Conrad there, and we can move, what's her name, Ashley? Whatever her name is, to the income tax. If we're looking for somebody else.
Councilman, if I may, so the appointment is literally only a temporary thing. We only did that because we're down an employee in that area, and that is not a department where we can literally just slide someone in quickly. There is testing and training in there. We're dealing with people's very personal information, including social security numbers and such, and it is complex. It's not one of those things where I can just slide someone in there and be able to answer people's questions easily. I mean, it's a complex department. So, but we are literally getting a posting together right now to try to get another part-timer to split between the departments that I can float them in there. So I'm gonna, just like everywhere else, we're gonna try and cross-train more people into that department so that this doesn't happen, because frankly, I am sick of this happening. So I thought we were good with the two in there, and then we had an employee go down for a long-term issue. Didn't see that coming, couldn't control it. Not sure if the employee's coming back or not. We're taking steps right now to remedy it. This appointment is solely to try and catch up right now, just to try and get the one person that's in there to be able to get some of these business licenses out, because frankly, we have businesses that need businesses licenses approved, and they're getting inundated because we're in tax season right now. So it's just a temporary problem and a temporary solution to get through it.
And the last thing is the treasurer. I think they should start doing their paperwork after 4. Don't have 10 people waiting in line to pay anything that they have to pay. One window is closed and the other one is working. I think this needs to be addressed. Both needs to be working until all the residents are done with their services, and then you can close the windows. So as of I came here today to pay, I had to wait a long time to pay my income tax. Where one is doing paperwork and the other one she's taking care of the residents. So I think that needs to be done after work, 4 o'clock. We were like anywhere else. After 4, you start doing your paperwork. You don't do your paperwork where people are waiting in line, and you have senior citizens that are waiting. So I recommend that needs to be addressed to our employees that if, you know, it's take care of our residents first and then they could do the paperwork after. And that's all, Chair.
Thank you. Any more reports?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, go ahead, Councilman.
so couple of complaint from long time also, parking meter. Next contact before the renew, we gotta know. We might not gonna renew the contract. We might gonna give the damages, whatever we have to give to develop the Hamtramck business. Long time ago, council, while I was talking, mayor was the Karen Mayaski, she was taking challenge. The court enforcement, how much we pay the salary, we don't even make from the ticket 1/3 of the money. And she said no. Then manager Kathy was here, she took the data, she said, yes, Mayor, Councilman Hassan, right, that is the correct, we don't make 1/3 of the money either. Second, so that's one concern I'm requesting, Mr. Manager, so be careful with that one. That one we might have to reconsider it in the John also, please. Double fencing. There's a lot of houses we brought from previous owner. Some of them already had the double fencing. I spoke to manager already gave me a little bit good thing. In the between the fence is something we grow up, that's why, or who gonna take it. So is the, again, owner responsibility. So I'm requesting, Mr. Attorney and Mr. Manager, I try to take the provision off from the double fencing, just one sentence, the double fencing, or no restriction, or the whatever it is. Take it off and bring to us, please. That one is very important, because is the residence change? Used to be resident maybe like more open. The residents right now, they're looking for little privacy, only for outside, and then not that. So those kinds of thing we can do the experimental, see how this go. Like a sacrifice goat thing. Everybody was, oh, everything gonna be bad, smell bad, and nothing happened. And a couple of people only did it. But freedom, the exercise, we saved the lawsuit also. So that is the one we need a next council meeting, something we need to do that. And warning things, there is a system, the code enforcement go over there, sometimes don't look at the computer, they have the previous warning or not. So some of them just issue the ticket, the deal, they're gonna come to Max will call us and we'll take care of that. That kinds of practice also they're doing, but the warning, last year I had warning. Oh, this year, oh, he already had the last year warning. This year we're not gonna give him warning, we're gonna give the ticket. Those kinds of things also we have to reconsider. Yeah, I might have last year, but this year I don't have anything. Why I will be judged for the last year, I correct myself. My experience, one of my grass, the door, I did the handwriting. When snow came, snow blow and handwriting is covered by the snow. They put the ticket. Then I go there and say, I did the handwriting. Then I take the snow off, handwriting a little visible. So I came to manager, and my son brought the spray, he picked the biggest spray, like a damage like a color. Then manager, I came to manager, said, why you did the color, tell me. Well, he tried to help. Manager tried to help, I understand. So then you don't have to spray this paint. So Max is helping a lot, that one, but still we have to be correct from the code enforcement officer, like Councilman Khalil Rafi says, come to look at that. Another experience I had a one ticket, so it was the wrong address. I came to manager go with me, I said, find out this address under my name. It was the site house. So some of the code enforcement officer, from the early to don't go the upfront, that's why very important the address. So he wrote the ticket. is happening. And also, garbage container, last my 25, 27 years, it was outside. We understand we brought it inside now. There is some senior citizen in the winter time, put it outside, bring it inside, is just complaining. But I'm okay with that because we have to keep city clean. But we still have to think about potholes in the street a lot. So right now, John, please, your supervision team maybe drive around, and also as a councilman, we drive around, we see anything, we report to manager or John, they're willingly to go and help. So that is the thing we're going on right now. Basically it's there right now. I don't have any more things, only the double fencing. I like to see the next council meeting to remove the provision, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I see some public here. Are you guys, do you want to speak? Maybe you are new here, you have to fill out a card if you want. I'm saying, like, if you want to step here and during the public comment section, if you guys want, there's a card that you have to fill there. Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, good. I thought you just didn't know the process. So thank you. Yeah, I just want to add one more thing. We just want to make obtaining the license for new businesses easier, but it's more complicated than ever. And I spoke to Max about the case last week about that person that they required this for the past 5 or 6 years. When he brought those stuff, they said, okay, now we go back to 2015, bring those. Then he brought them, then they said, we need those. I don't care if there was a problem 10 years ago. You asked for specific things in the first time. He brought these things, then they added more stuff. Then a third time they added more stuff. So it's apparently they want to make it complicated for this person. I mean, it's just, you turn out to say, okay, there was a problem 10 years ago. But in the beginning, you asked for specific things. So that's another example of making things harder for those business owners who want to obtain some new license. That's it for me. I think no more city council wants to speak.
I already just.
You want to add something? Councilman Sumeri, go ahead.
Yeah. I'd like thank you, Al-Bustan, for today when we bring the food, like good food. And I guess couple things. We add couple days. Somebody they felt in the Kinif in the city lot. Police they called the ambulance and they called the police. They cost over 40 minutes. Nobody show up. And the people they felt in the parking lot.
They fall.
They had fight.
No, not fight.
Oh,
Fall.
Yeah, they felt in the
they felt.
yeah, they felt in the parking lot. They need help. Nobody. Somebody they called. Over 40 minutes. Nobody show up.
Ambulance.
The ambulance, yeah. Another thing, you know, the last years when they came the election, the school, Malay, they fell. Now, they didn't carry off. They keep in the system. And they show up in this year for the estimate value. We need to make sure to carry off. People, they be very angry though when they see the more increased taxes. Should be the taxes down, not to go up. Another thing, the income tax. A lot of complaint. A lot of people, they call me, you know, 3-4 years, the lady, when she worked like over 15 years, one lady, she worked 5 days, from 8 to 4 o'clock. If people then want to be work, find out another person from the city, keep the window is open. A lot of people, they mad. They coming back from one, they talking a lot of bad. We need to keep the service and good for everyone. That's what we have.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, so people will see that the millages and whatnot are still on that estimate that came out, But that is literally just an estimate. The corrected ones, when they come out, in the summer, those will fall off.
But
It's
they still in the system, they didn't cut it off.
it's only
Still in the
be-
system.
because it's a
When
repeat.
the election is done, you have to cut off all the system.
So
It's still over there.
it's a repeat of basically the last year's and just an estimate. It's like an automated thing that comes out. So
Whatever they come, the estimate, they're gonna come in July. Every year, over 25 years, whatever they come, the estimate now, if you didn't make a review, they're gonna come same thing in the summer.
whatever is supposed to be on there, Councilman,
If you
will
don't make
will
a
be
review,
correct
they're gonna
in the
come
summer.
same way.
He's saying that they will fix it by the summer, so it will be fixed by then.
100%.
automatically,
It's
so-
just an estimate, Councilman.
Okay, all right, thank you. So, we move to the public comment again, if there's any.
We have one.
Oh, he's not here right now, so.
Who,
He left, he left.
oh, it's,
He's over here.
oh, hey.
Mr. Mayor, we have Councilman Hamad Hassan here for public
No,
comment.
I'm the residents.
President, 2 minutes, sir.
Only 2 minutes.
Hurry up, it
I can-
started.
You can ask for another minute.
Yeah, I know this is the law. Mr. Chair and council members and my city attorney staff. I came here as a resident here today. I remember Dr. Al-Ghazali one day came here when he did not get the floor from mayor and he came here to speak, but I got the floor, but I came here as a resident and I'm talking right now, talking to something elected official to look at that. And I'm talking against me too, as a resident here. So, invoice register, so far 2 years, nobody questioned what I see. We used to question and we used to study before we come and question it. And that's why if anything mistake from the department billing, they can correct themselves. If nobody look at their one, nobody question, and that's okay, it's going, it's going, it's gone. Same thing happened. So there's lots of employee issue. We've been hearing complaint from the residents. They want, we have to look at them correctly. And also the tax department, personal income tax department, third party do our tax, right? Okay.
Partially.
Yeah, partially. So there is a little bit improvement. Like an existing businessman who is paying the still income tax, maybe did not pay all of them yet. There is the way you cannot close the business. You give him option and let the expedite to, okay, you can do the continued business license. Those kinds of things, we have to look at that one. And I've been suffering, but it's okay.
Councilman, do you want to ask for your 2
Yeah,
minutes?
1
Yeah,
minute,
go ahead.
please. Yeah. So again, so all the elected official, please look at closely the invoice register and some contract. Now, never so worry about the balance the budget in case go negative, whatever he speak previously, and he's scared of that. So it's not gonna happen. Another thing, Mayor mentioned, $5 million came the last year, but that case, she did a very good job. She has attitude, I understand. She collect previous money to bring that up to date. That's good thing. But the other thing, attitude and the looking for 2015 record, she cannot go that far. She only can go 3 years. And there's the tax file guy don't have the record. You have to go IRS. So that's all. That's concerned. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. All right.
Mr.
Mayor,
Chair,
that's all for public comment.
Yes,
one more thing, if you don't mind.
Councilman Fari, I want to suspend the rules and let you speak
Yes.
again. Okay,
For just
okay.
You know, previously when, you know, if you work in different cities, your income tax, usually the city takes it through your, you don't have to go to the city of Detroit and pays it. How come Hamtramck still has this old system where I have to come to the city and pay my income tax?
I'm sorry, Councilman, what was exactly the question there?
In other cities, if you're working anywhere, usually the city takes what you owe from the income tax.
So it's up to your
On the
individual
base stuff,
employee to
Yeah.
take your taxes out of your check.
Paycheck, right.
Yes, so like we take our, like out of our employees, we take our income tax out, just like your employer would take your income tax out and send it to the city. So your individual employer would do that wherever you work. And we would encourage employers to do that. In fact, we actually have a big problem with employers in the city not doing that and actually not paying the city and not reporting it. That's actually something, it's fraud, and we run into it all the time. We're running into it pretty frequently.
Well, I'm addressing this because someone just texted me right now, I forgot to mention it because I think he's watching the meeting. He works at GM.
Mhm.
So when he lived in Detroit, it was taken through his pay stub, or I don't know how it works. And then when he moved to Hamtramck, now he has to come and pay his income tax.
That's up to his employer.
Well,
I have to,
he acts,
I can answer.
he acts, his employer, they're saying that the city is not opt in some system that they can't do that.
I think it's up to the employer.
Yeah.
I have the same problem, but my employer started taking the tax. It's either 0.5 or 1%, depending on residency. So he has to talk to the employer.
He did, but let me see if,
Detroit don't have the personal income tax. No city has the personal income tax, only the Hamtramck in Michigan.
No city.
Okay. So the employer, most of the employer don't want to deal with that. Some employer does. Some employers say, no, I don't want to deal with that. You go ahead, you pay your personal income tax by your city. Because I've been with the big companies long time. Only one company took it, and rest of the still Fort Motor company not taking my Hamtramck. Okay.
so you still have to come here and
Yeah, I
pay?
have to come and get it.
That's weird. Thanks,
All
man.
right, thank you.
I'm sorry, what is the first name?
Yeah, I do recognize we're not completely up to date in every department yet. And there are weaknesses still that we're still trying to work through. So we recognize this 100%. So
Okay.
bear with us. We still have staffing issues. We still have weaknesses. We're still working through them. We're not perfect.
Yeah, I think the tax department is a place where there's so much potential to increase revenue. So that's what we need. We need to be more efficient to collect revenue. And there's a big opportunity there to collect. I mean, if the difference between last year and this year, 1.5 million, that means we weren't as efficient as last year, and we can do something there. Yeah, an employee to pay him like 60,000 to make another 1.5 million or 2 million, that's worth it.
If I may, Mayor?
Yeah.
So I would agree with you, Mayor, on that. And we are indeed trying to do that. But then we also get a lot of pushback because I'll be completely candid with you. A lot of our business owners don't like that. There are a lot of business owners that do things a certain way that may not be all that proper, and we discover it, and then they complain. What the councilman touched on a minute ago about people not taking things out properly and reporting it, we're coming across fraud all the time and holding people accountable for it, and then getting pushback for actually holding them accountable for it. And candidly, we can't reveal a lot of the things publicly to this body or the public because it is all private information of what we do discover half the time. So a lot of the things we get complaints on are things that we have to keep confidential, but it's not legit things.
Well, we just do whatever we did last year. I mean, that should be enough. If there's something illegal, I mean.
I know, but what I'm saying is, Mr. Mayor, is that we keep coming across business owners in the city that aren't being truthful and honest and doing what they're supposed to, but we can't really reveal that to you.
Talk to the business owners.
We
to
are,
fix it.
and then they're complaining. And we're not necessarily saying, okay, they're not being honest, but they're not being honest. So I'm not saying in every occasion, but we keep running into a lot of dishonesty and people not doing what they're supposed to be doing when we're trying to make them do what they're supposed to be doing. Now, that's not always the case, for sure, 100%, because there are a lot of people doing exactly what they're supposed to be. But there are some squeaky wheels in this community that are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they're crusading as if they are.
Or we need to make them do what they're supposed to do. But I'm just saying, like, to be more efficient, we saw the results last year. We can put more efforts and investments in this department to collect more revenues. That's the main point. Because I see people complaining that they can't pay their what they're supposed to pay to the city. So we want to make it easy for them to do that. That's just my point. I know we will start finding some ways to make it more convenient for the residents.
We're
to do that.
definitely gonna sort it out, Mayor. There is no question that that is gonna happen. We're already taking steps to do that. I thought we were doing pretty good until, like I said, an employee went down, and that caused us a heck of a problem. And it just was a chain of bad events, being tax season and everything, and it couldn't have happened at a worse time for us.
All right, thank you so much. I guess we come to an end now. No,
Yeah.
any public
One
comments? Okay.
Sayah Saleh?
Like this time speaking about that, so I don't know how many.
It's okay. You want the,
So I just want to share it to,
yeah,
I already shared to Max.
yeah, you have 2 minutes and you can ask for additional minutes, okay? Go ahead.
So we bought a property in Hamtramck that used to run it Mr. On for 40 years. The building, I bought it for, he's a friend, I bought it for a good amount, like, basically, he told me before I took it that it needs a lot of money to it. And I took the risk. So when I bought it, he used to pay between 6,000 in summer, 1,000 in, 1,000 in winter, 6,000 in summer. So when I bought it, and I took the risk, and I could share even the sales, how much it's selling. I mean, I could even, Khalil, if you come, like, you will laugh how much the sale is. When I took it, they increased it like $8,000. Tax saying they're gonna increase it. So when I took it from Mr. On, he told me that he used to do good before. After COVID hit and they got the meters, the sale decreased to a number that you cannot imagine. So what I'm doing right now is taking profit from my family company, which is Lamarsa from Bloomfield Hills, West Bloomfield. I'm trying to boost the sales. So when I see this amount, 8,000 and some change, plus the 7,000, 15,000 to a building that need a lot of money to it, and I took the risk. So when I saw the 8,000, honestly, I couldn't sleep like the whole night because I'm doing very bad, like to the point I have to close, but I'm asking my brother to help me more to try to open it. My dream is to open it as a mall. And I'm trying to.
You want your extra minute?
Yeah, you can have another.
So honestly, I'm having difficult trying to increase the sale. One I shared, I don't know who I shared to, either Max. A salesman came and tried to ice can tax, tried to bring me the delivery. So he parked all the way and where it's gonna be La Marsa, the plaza.
Town center.
Yes, all the way from there and came all the way to the middle where it used to be Shopping World, where I'm at, across the street from you. And I was like, why did you do that? He was like, every time I come here, I get a ticket. Personally, when I took the business over, I got 5 tickets. It was my fault because I used to go put the meters and I didn't know how to work it out at the beginning, but later on I got it. So right now when I took the business and it's like I could even.
I'm sorry, your time is up, I apologize.
You wanna address it? I mean,
Mr. Mayor, I did speak with him.
Then he told me to appeal and
Yeah, we'll do whatever that we can with him. He bought a failing business on Joseph Campo in a pretty good spot on Joseph Campo. In my opinion, it's a great piece of real estate. I can't speak to the business that was there. I don't know that it was failing that he bought it.
I could provide you his number.
No, I know that, but we
He
knew
lived there for 45 years, and he told me, I swear to God, he told me, listen, I don't want you to lose the money. And I was like, listen, I'm still young, I have a family that's gonna back me up. And he gave me a warning, and honestly, he's still today, he still comes
Is
up
the
to me.
Cornelia?
No, it was the beauty shop. on
Really,
Joseph
for
Campo,
45 years.
I can't speak to, the risk taken. I don't know what he paid for it. I assume you got a good price for it, but,
You need
there
a
is,
lot of money, you need a lot of money.
there is risk in anything you do. It is a good property. I will do everything we can to help you, but
too.
I mean, the meters themselves are, I mean, we all know the story with the meters, we're stuck in that at least
He
for.
told me decrease 50%.
Yeah, I would,
Okay.
I would
They might
recommend
be
you,
expensive.
you communicate
That is
with
their
the city manager and,
I mean,
because it seems like a long story.
Someone that might be interested in the property for him.
Yeah,
I'd say try it.
honestly, my dream is to open it as a mall, but I'm still struggling, and I wanna boost this, like, I have a dream in this building that I wanna do for myself, my family, and the city.
All right, so communicate with the city manager and then he will direct you to what to do regarding appeal and all this stuff. I think we come to an end now. No more public comment? Okay, so move to adjourn.
I motion.
Second.
It's 8:13. Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
very much.